Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 55 of the Realm Recap. I'm Jason from Yakface.com, joined again by Flyguy from Flyguy.net.
Good evening, Jason and interwebs. Another juicy week of Star Wars stuff to be talked about. Plenty
Lots of
of it again.
stuff.
Yeah,
Collectible news, comic news, movie
everything
news,
news.
spin-off movies.
Posted
It's just
news. Plenty of stuff.
lots of stuff. So we'll start off, as always, with the Hasbro portion. This week, it kind of spilled over again from last week. Those digital release commemorative sets keep showing up at retail. Um, I would almost call them non-digital because there hasn't been an official announcement yet. But I did see these yesterday and was able to pick them up from Target.
Yeah, you've already done some reviews, haven't you?
Yeah, I did kind of a different kind of review, whereas I didn't split open the entire contents of it. Yeah, I've photographed those figures so many times. It seems like I just didn't want to do it again. Truth be told, these are going back to the store.
Wow, okay.
I just wanted to have them for kind of archival purposes. And
Sure.
I've seen various photos, and I've never seen like the complete set opened, as far as to reveal all of the artwork and just how the packaging was put together and whatnot. So I'm kind of glad I did it in that regard. But if you have these figures, like I said in the review, if you have these figures, you don't need this set, and obviously if you don't like these figures, you don't need to buy these. So
Yeah, it's
it'll save you some money.
it's a beautiful looking pack, and I think you or others have mentioned at one point. I mean, potentially this could be a May 4th by the time they get out there and get saturated announcement, but it's a little early and a little weird to have
Yeah, I
products and
mean,
no announcement.
Walmart started putting those out first, I guess, and then Target has started putting them out as well. They're $19.99 at Target, so it's they're
Well,
not
you've done
too.
some good photography. You've done some really good stuff, so people can really get to see inside the pack, which is excellent. I think, as well as being for archival purposes, it can help people before they go and buy the thing. You've kind of done all the work in terms of how good they look, and you can get to see
Yeah,
them. So
basically what I wanted to do is just give packaging turnarounds as far as
sure,
sides and back and front and what the slipcase looks like. I mean, the artwork is really pretty decent, on the
it
end,
is.
to the that spells out the entire thing, and then you get a movie poster on the back of each inner box, which is a cool deal.
It is. And
Hasbro's released these kind of commemorative DVD, Blu-ray release kind of packs before. I have a couple of them here just to kind of refresh people's memory if they don't remember what they look like. Um, there was one back when the original trilogy came out on DVD. This was back in
that's right. There's been several, hasn't there?
Yeah, this was back in 2004. These were like these packs that looked like this.
Hmm.
DVD not included, but yeah,
But we're celebrating it in a way.
it included 4 figures. I don't remember what retail was on these, but there were 3 different sets. There was a New Hope set like this. Um, I don't have all 3 sets, but I do have the Empire set here handy as well. That includes Chewie, um, Leia, Han Solo.
And if memory serves me, they did a tin commemorative set as well, a little bit after that. I remember getting a tin set with some great figures in it, actually, articulated ones.
Right.
But
And then when the Blu-ray came out just a few years ago, there was these sets that came out.
that's right, remember them as well. Yeah, that's
So
right.
these are kind of the most similar to what we just received. Sorry for the glare there, but because this has the artwork again on the spine of the box, where if you got all 6 sets, they stacked side by
Sure.
side, and it formed a nice picture on the side. This is a little bit better presentation, I think, because it included like a little mini movie poster on the inside,
Hmm.
whereas I have that box handy quick for. Here's the Return of the Jedi box. So here's the
The
front,
sleeve, okay.
the sleeve, yep. And I mentioned this in my review. The figure artwork that's on here is slightly embossed around the
Nice.
outline, so it's not just a flat printing of it, so it gives it a little bit of a more upscale feel anyway compared to what's inside. Anyway, you can see all these pictures in the...
It's a great toy. You've done everything that I think everybody
Yeah,
needs to see.
I tried to get it, and then again, when you pull the sleeve off, it's just a white box, as far as, it's got little nameplate or little name designations below and above each figure, but it's just a white void behind it. It's very much like the Black Series is as far as the
very
6-inch
minimal,
scale.
isn't it?
Yeah, so
it's a shame. It's nice to get the color print. I mean, that would look great in a display cabinet to have the movie poster prints behind or in front of some figures or something. But
right.
I mean, arguably there was better figures. Better figures in previous releases, and
yeah, I guess for what you can buy figures for nowadays, $5 each for each of those figures in these new sets is about what we're paying now. As far as when you compare it to like a Mission Series set where it's $10 and you're getting 2 figures. These are similar.
People love sets and collections, and Hasbro sometimes, unfortunately, don't really have complete sets. We're always, we get to the vintage collection and then we stop, or we're halfway through the Black Series and we change color, and there's never a real nice feeling of a kind of complete set. It doesn't happen very often anyway. So this is nice, at least for those that don't have it, maybe those that maybe aren't quite as toy crazy as we are. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all, really. Looks good.
And if you've passed on most of these, Saga Legends, Mission Series type figures, some of them are really rather new. Like this set includes the new Wicket. The Empire Strikes Back set includes the new IG-88 and the Bosk.
Which are good figures.
Yeah, those are pretty great. But if you passed on them and want to get, you're essentially getting what? These are 6 sets, 24 figures. It costs you $100, $120, but it's like a little bit of variety. It's got bad guys, good guys, something from each movie. So it's kind of a neat thing to do if you don't mind the limited articulation and some of the more shoddy paint jobs. Some figures are better than others in some sets, but you're going to run into that with anything. So
exactly. Well, if you want to check them out, then definitely check out the Toy Guide and have a good look and see every bit and piece and angle, and you've done everything. You've covered every aspect of these things.
I tried. Again, I didn't do loose shots because they've been out and there was nothing really new to add to it, so I kept it pretty easy. Actually, I was shooting those last time. I'm not doing that. Yeah, no Leia in any of those sets.
No Leia in the package.
No, you get Padme in the Episode 1 set, but I think you could have easily switched out in the A New Hope set. Drop the Stormtrooper and put Leia in there. Move the Stormtrooper over to, let's say, the Empire Strikes Back box. Drop IG-88. You have Bosk in there. That's cool, but to not have Leia represented is kind of weird.
So there's not actually one single new figure in this pack.
No, the one that kind of is a little bit debatable on that is the Phantom Menace set, which has that Darth Maul in it that you couldn't get in the United States. It was when it was carded. I can't remember what packaging it was on.
Clone Wars line?
No, this was. It might have been, actually.
And the Clone Wars green packaging?
The green Yoda card. It wasn't...
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that was it. I'm losing my train of thought on that.
Thousands of figures.
I know, and 100 Darth Mauls, so it's hard to remember which one is which, but that's the only set that really has something that collectors in the U.S. might not have.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, look, it's good to get it. Anyway. I can't wait to see what the digital collection would be. Interesting to note, maybe I'm reading a little bit too far into it, but the artwork chosen is Drew Struzan for episodes 1, 2, and 3, but not for the previous, or the 4, 5, 6, which might suggest it's unaltered versions of Star Wars that people keep rumoring. I don't know. That's not the Drew Struzan special editions.
That's a decent theory. Because it's like the original, not really the original posters for the original trilogy boxes, but it's like the first
classic unaltered
posters. Yeah. So
So
that would be kind of
that
neat.
may be what it is.
Okay.
Digital
Um,
versions of that.
let's see. Moving on to what else is hitting. Surprisingly, the Bosk wave of 6-inch Black Series figures are hitting stores. These have turned
Yeah.
up in both Walmart, Toys R Us. Um, I think StarWarsCollector.com. That caught my attention earlier this week.
Yeah, me too, me too.
He was able to find those at Toys R Us. At first, I was only hearing about them hitting Walmart, and that seemed to be making sense for them because they really hadn't been doing anything as far as Star Wars product for
Yep.
over the winter. So, but no, it's great. People are finding these. These have turned up locally here for me. I haven't seen them personally, but I know a lot of my local collectors that hang out over at Jedi Defender have been able to find those at Walmart's. So they're out there.
They're coming. They're coming.
Um,
Definitely.
what else? I don't think I have it here in the show notes, but there are other waves of figures from the Saga Legends and Mission series that are continuing to hit stores pretty regularly. A lot of people are now finding complete waves of waves 1, 2, and 3 at their different stores, and ever since like that whole port thing was resolved, it seems like the whole, either the
Yeah.
floodgate has opened or it was just really coincidental that it all came out right around that same time.
Well, I can confirm we've just seen arrive today, literally the Sabine and Hera. It's not Sabine, sorry, the Hera and Sand Trooper and
Nice.
those. So wave three that'll be. So they're definitely here and they're coming fast. So yeah.
Looking forward to that because those have just started to show up on eBay as well in the
Yeah.
U.S. Um, so people have been anticipating and waiting for the Hera set for a while, just like they
Mm.
did the Sabine.
It's a flurry of toys on the way.
True. Speaking of Sabine, I received a case of Mission Series figures early this week from Entertainment Earth, and I was looking through it, and I immediately went to the Sabine pack just to check out the condition, and I noticed that it it looked different than I remember from the first set that I had started or that I had photographed and added to the toy guide. The one that we're screen sharing here, the one on the left is the one that came from the Entertainment Earth case pack. It has an older production date stamp on the pack,
Hmm.
so it was definitely produced first. But you can see it's clearly a different deco on the
It
mask as
is.
far as right around the visor. It's very solid black, as well as the little vertical things that go up above each eye. Those are black,
It's
whereas on the
eyebrows.
eyebrows. Whereas
But
on the
yeah,
other one, it's those are maroon. So people were saying, "Oh, it's an error." No, this is more than an error. This is, I mean, if they're putting different color paint through paint masks, it's
mm,
it's more than an error.
yeah.
So
It's so the black has got considerably much more across the
right,
like even if it was regardless, it's a nice variation and it's nice to know about it. I mean, there's
right.
people who love that stuff out there. So well
So
done for documenting it. So
yeah. So I did cite what production date stamp numbers were on there. So if you're looking for a particular one, um, I think most people would be happy just to get a Sabine in hand. But if you're looking for one, the one on the right that I'm showing there, um, that's the, I would call the correct version. So,
sure, sure, and a great
um,
figure.
yeah, very nice.
It's so in demand right now as well. Everybody's seen. So yeah, to check it out. Nice little
Um,
variant.
right, and there are some other interesting variants coming in the Saga Legends line as well. Um, a lot of them are geared around packaging, where I don't. Hasbro's making the switch to. I think that was in show note number 3 there, or actually 4. Um, the the packaging for Wave, I guess it's Wave 3 shipping out. Is that what it was? Wave 3 seems to be going uh, multilingual on the card backs, which is kind of interesting.
Hmm.
I wrote up in a little article there, and uh, Wave 3, which includes these Luke Skywalker uh, X-wing pilot, the Lando, and the Han Solo in Bespin gear. Those also include repacks of figures like uh, the Rebel Stormtrooper, Ezra, and the Inquisitor. And all of those cards are now different than their original US release.
Hmm.
As far as the artwork on the back is different, the little character photo on the bubble insert is different. Um, and then
Yeah, you're right.
what's most noticeable about that is there is a deco change, making a true variant for um, the Inquisitor.
Bum bum bum, as you said there. So there's, I like that. That's Ezra, very visibly different as you can see there.
Right.
The stamps and whatnot, the way they've portrayed it. But let me just see if
Yeah.
we can show the Inquisitor there as well. So what is? Oh yeah, you were. I saw this as well. The kind of almost like fangs on the eyes instead of
Right. The one on the
the
far,
difference there.
yeah, the far left or far right one there is the latest version, which the tear drops or whatever you want to call them are much thinner and they go farther down the
Mm-hmm.
cheek than the original, the Wave 1 release and also the figure that was
Mm-hmm.
packed with the exclusive TIE advanced prototype. So
Yep.
there's another image that I
Yeah,
shared there
visibly
that
different.
has a little side by side of just the heads there, and it's pretty
Yep.
evident that it's an intended change.
Deco change. Yeah. Hmm. Interesting to see they do these little changes as they go on, which makes sense, I guess. They maybe make the first batch and then realize that it wasn't quite to that angle. It should be straight down, and of course it's corrected. So yeah,
So,
very
you know,
interesting stuff, sir. Well documented.
thanks. Some people care about that kind of crap. I,
Absolutely. No,
I,
you're right. They do.
you
They
know.
do. They do.
Um, what else? There were some sales going on this week. I didn't realize that Hasbro Toy Shop had its own eBay store,
Yeah.
which is kind of odd, but maybe it's just easier for, shipping and product fulfillment to go that route than it is to, someone have people working actually at Hasbro Toy Shop doing it.
I think it's more audience as well. I mean, you just can't escape eBay's massive kind of both search engine kind of availability and
Right.
uh, yeah. And a lot of people look at eBay. That's just it, I guess. They want a share of
Yeah.
that too. So
They were offering 50% off of the 6-inch Boba Fett as well as the Stormtrooper this week, which is pretty amazing considering how hot the Boba Fett figure was and how attractive the Stormtrooper is to army builders and customizers.
yeah, without a doubt.
So they blew through like a couple
Wonderful for
thousand.
customers, horrific online stores. It's yeah, I mean Hasbro in some ways are kind of double dipping here. I mean they're supposed to be selling this thing onto distributors and then to stores, and so it's a little yeah, a little weird and kind of not very wonderful of them to be doing that. But at the end of the day, it's $10. Who's not going to get excited
Yeah.
about that? So, but it's ridiculously cheap.
10
But they
bucks.
went incredibly fast though.
Yep. $10 and free shipping in the U.S. So
Which just makes you wonder how many they made of these different things.
I don't know.
So,
They blew through 1,000 of each figure. It seems.
yeah,
I think so. Um,
crazy.
this popped up on my Facebook feed earlier this week. There was a tease that Yoda's News had shared regarding possibly another one of those Father's Day exclusives. Years back, they did, or Hasbro did a 2-pack that included Darth Vader and a Luke Skywalker figure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's along that same kind of vein that they're going to do this year or something different, but I thought that was kind of an interesting share this week.
No, let's get a look at that. My apologies. My notes are
It's okay.
my windows are all a little skewy there. Let's have a look. Yeah, they did this before this. Yes, yeah. Angry Father's Day. So yeah, potential 2015 set. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So-
remember what. This was the image you're screen sharing now was. I don't know what that is. I didn't. That someone mocked that up.
What?
I'm not sure what that. Oh yeah, that Justin
Justin.
from our site did it. But yeah, the image above is the pertinent one as far as the Vader image. So I'm guessing it's going to include a Vader and a Bespin Luke again. I don't know, or maybe a Vader. It might be one of those um, Jedi Knight Saga Legends figure of Luke and another Darth
Mm-hmm.
Vader. So some sort of pack. Who knows? Something you could probably totally
Who
skip.
knows? We'll find out. Well, Father's Day in the States here is March the 20th or something.
Uh, Surprisingly, I have no idea, considering I'm
Okay.
a father of four. Um,
You may be surprised.
yeah,
Well,
Father's Day,
look here.
March
Okay.
19th.
Oh, I'm getting June 21.
I guess I'm looking in Portugal. Um, we'll see. Anyway,
Anyway, Father's Day.
it's coming. I haven't missed it apparently. But see what happens with that. Um, Backtracking here a little bit to more 6-inch stuff. Stephen Hayford, who does a lot of those cool photography diorama type deals as far as around the holidays and whatnot, he received a nice goodie case of product from Hasbro, and he took some nice images of the upcoming Deluxe Wampa with the Luke as well as the Tauntaun with Han Solo.
I thought he was getting these off eBay, but there you
I don't
go,
think so.
Hasbro. Wow,
Hasbro sends that stuff to him, I think.
very nice. Nice of them to send them that. Lovely. Oh well,
I'm looking forward to these sets. They're really well done.
they are. They look very good. Just loving the 6-inch. The quality, I think, is where they're really pouring their time and effort and energy into that. But they do look good. They do look good. Yeah. Wow. Look at the size of that compared to 3.75-inch
Yeah,
figure.
that
Wow.
that Tauntaun is just towering over that 3 3/4 inch Stormtrooper.
Mhm. Still stuns me to think we get 6-inch figures in Star Wars. It's still fantastic. So, yep, looking good. Good photos as well. Get to see the pack and inside, and yep,
Good
it's a
stuff.
good looking figure.
Um, Dorkside Toys had shared this
Cool.
earlier this week regarding the Cody wave of 6-inch figures. I think that includes Cody. Who else? I'm blanking. The Emperor?
IG-88.
Oh,
Sorry,
that's
no,
right.
Bush.
Bush and IG88.
Two Codys, IG-88, and there was another one.
Yeah, two
Two
Codys,
Codys, Bush
Bush,
and
and
IG-88.
IG88. Yep.
Yep. So,
Um, this assortment has been pushed back as far as pre-orders are now pushed back until May.
yeah. Very weird one for them to do, to announce and give everybody information that these waves were available, only to then turn around and ask everybody to pull it back, which it's kind of unusual. I can't in the past. Kind of
Yeah,
weird
I don't remember it
to
happening either.
say have it up and take it down and pretend nothing happened, but we'll put it back up May 3rd.
Right,
Okay. So,
that's fine. And
I don't believe there's any change to the case packs, and everybody who pre-ordered, safe to, you're all good, but I don't know. So some reshuffling around, I guess, in the releases and what they're trying to do, but
yeah,
it'll be back.
it's kind of weird that that happened again this week, whereas last week we talked about that Princess Leia ceremonial figure that got pushed out of the Wave 7.
Yeah.
I think I don't know what it is going on as far as, they're just trying to make sure they're obviously doing a whole bunch of prep for the new movies and all that's coming out.
Hmm.
So I think they're just hoping and trying to make sure that they can meet production demand and make sure pre-orders get
Sure.
situated and stuff, and hopefully get things nailed down from a distribution standpoint
Yeah.
before the end of everything until The Force Awakens starts coming out in September as far as product.
Well, even then, again, May the 3rd, why not May the 4th? But whatever, maybe that's in prep for May the 4th. I don't know what it could be, but I'm
Right.
sure they're up to something big for that kind of Star Wars day. There'll be something going on, I think. Whatever it may be.
And let's see what else. Dorkside Toys has their March Madness sale going on right now, which is pretty cool. I've seen a lot of great items for sale in there.
Yeah, there was, and there still is. I think there was more stock put back up. There's a good few Star Wars figures in there from $3.80. I love that Jango Fett figure. I think he's fantastic, and at $4, it's like not a question not to put that in your cart, as well as some other goodies in there. But I think there's still Stormtroopers on there, 6-inch. There should be some as I quickly flick through, and definitely some Clone Trooper Sergeants that were both $14. There was Speedabex and Jabbas which went in a flash. But yeah, there we go. If you missed out in the $10, you can pay only $4.99 extra, get a Stormtrooper, and I love the Clone Trooper Sergeants. Can't wait to get all of them all together. But yeah, there's a few Star Wars goodies in there. Ends on Sunday midnight, so dive in if you want to get some goodies.
Lots of good stuff. Like I said, I'm still super tempted to start getting into that reaction line of stuff from Funko, but
$3.99 is like
I know it's like
I know. Pulp Fiction, I love them. I've got
yeah, I know that was
beautiful.
what I was looking at too. Let's see, wrapping up the Hasbro Kenner news this week. Justin from the site Yakface had posted a friend of his. His parents found a box of apparently ungifted items from back in the 80s.
Wow.
And if you scroll up higher in that thread, there are just a bunch of unopened, Return of the Jedi figures, Empire Strikes Back figures that he had never received when he was a kid. Like, this is the stuff I dream about at night. I don't know if, I mean,
I know,
I'm sure others dream of better things, but sometimes it's like, you always dream of walking into a store and all the store pegs are filled with old vintage stuff, or you find a box that you never knew existed, and apparently that's what happened to one of Justin's friends, and I'm jealous.
That guy, some of the bubbles are absolutely crystal clear.
Right.
Some haven't stood the test of time, but still great looking cards. I mean, they still fetch a pretty penny, and yeah, some of the offers on them as well. So there's some good stuff there.
And I think Justin said that these were going to go up on eBay at some point. So whatever that means, I'll be interested because I'm looking at those Yodas there. I have carded versions of Yoda, like unpunched versions from the Empire Strikes Back card.
Nice.
But I don't know. Depending on the quality, I might look into these.
Do you have any Return of the Jedi versions or any kind of foreign language versions of Yoda? Or?
No.
You're not going down that path of collecting it. You haven't gone down that. Because that's a tough one and an expensive one.
I know. I've been tempted several times, but I've not done it. Let's see, what else? Moving on to a brief bit of Sideshow news this week. Nothing really major. Sideshow did send out a production update for some of the pre-orders that are outstanding there. The Jango Fett that's coming. I can't remember exactly when it's supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be more of a first or second quarter release.
February, I thought it was.
February. That is now expected to be a August-September of 2015 release.
Wow.
I don't know if there's a backlog issue as far as production goes or distribution, whatnot, but they said, for folks that have it on pre-order, expect it closer to August, September. So
good to know.
That's fine. I mean, it's at least they're keeping people up to date on their orders, which is a nice touch. But anyway.
Some people get very annoyed about it in the delays. I can understand that, but personally, I'm like, all for the delays lets me not have to pay for the stuff a little while, so I'm all good with that. So, yeah.
Let's see what else. Moving on to other news as well as customs. We had talked about last show that I had started a new affinity for picking up those Hot Wheels character cars. And then this week, of course, Toys R Us put some buy one, get one 40% off on all Hot Wheels, which includes all the cars that I picked up, the previous week. I did get adjustments done, so I don't have. I'm not out anything. It was nice to get a little kickback there, but yeah, to put off collecting the line as long as I did, and then to have just a few days later say, oh, if it's buy one get one 40% off. That's like great. So
C'est la vie. It's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
anyway, let's see. You had shared something over on Flyguy.net regarding a uh, licensee picking up the Star Wars brand, 3A.
That's right. A very kind of cool Hong Kong-based vinyl collectible company, normally known for their vinyl collectibles, but they've branched out heavily in the last couple of years. They're particularly noticeably when they did Portal collectibles. That was the thing that really caught the commercial edge, I think, because they tended to do very unique things before, but they have a Star Wars license. And they're a very nice, very approachable bunch of guys and girls. I was talking to them on Twitter this week, and they're just very nice. They send out a fantastic newsletter, but very detailed and very passionate. Actually, would discuss some of the stuff there, and he talked more about his history of Star Wars and what he liked. But we haven't seen anything. We don't know what's going on. But ultimately, they will make something very stylish. It will be very unique. Work that they've done. It almost looks like the Iron Giant from the movie.
Right.
It's just very stylized, very limited runs and numbers. So this is not going to be Hot Toys, but if you're into something kind of different, probably with a Japanese Hong Kong kind of gorillas-like style or influence, it'll probably be like that. But interesting to see that there's more licenses out there for that stuff. So
yeah, I think I'm most familiar with the 3A line as far as product. They've had like a couple different Iron Man figures come out that are kind of really like are very Iron Giant like as far as, and they're kind of steampunkish almost.
That's right. Yeah.
They have the kind of weird curled up feet, as far as the shoes, and there's a Doctor Doom, I think, as well from Marvel that they've done. The detail and just the sculpting of them is really unique. This line is called Star Wars Alternate, so it's not meant to be representative of what these characters look like in film or in movie. They're, like I said, very kind of stylized and whatnot. So,
yep, they're very, very weird and different. But I mean, there's something very unique about them. I mean, you're showing some different images of all the colors and variations, and there's a lot of them. I mean, they are cool. To me, there's something that the Iron Man, the feet didn't do for me.
Right.
But there's some bizarre ones in there. The Doctor Doom, there you go. There's the very stylized Doom prototype that's been floating around for a while. But these, I've seen a couple of these in hand, and they are beautifully made. Very limited runs, but beautifully made. There's a real quality to them. So.
Yeah, and what's kind of neat about them too is they're not so different from like how the whole the samurai.
I was just going to say that the Bandai Nipplegate, because the Doctor the same thing going on.
You've got the Samurai Vader, Samurai Stormtroopers that are coming, and that line's about to expand quite a bit. So it's not meant to be representative of actual in-film characters. It's just kind of an interpretive line, and I find that very interesting.
It's good. It's nice to see something other than Hasbro, and everything has its place, but we get enough commercial product like Star Wars Command and role playing and Saga Legends these days. It's nice to see something unique, and talking of unique, I guess.
Yeah, we had some. Let's see, where is this? A pre-order went up this week over at Entertainment Earth regarding another release from Funko for their Hakari Sofubi line, which is those jelly. They look like jelly beans to me, or jelly gummy bears. This is the 442nd Siege Battalion Clone Trooper. This was the Clone Trooper we were trying to think of a couple shows ago. We had saw that, but they put this up for pre-order, $80 again. There are two versions that were available.
This one's nice. So the glitter version, because
every
Clone Trooper needs to have glitter.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah.
He's going to a rave or something. I don't know.
Sure.
But that was only limited to like 100 pieces, the glitter version. So those definitely sell out fast. The regular edition is a 1,500 production run.
I think you said 1,500, but I'm looking at the picture, then it says 900, which is a very unusual number.
Oh, really? I thought.
They might have made the mistake. I thought it was 1500 too, but the image they've got there says 9. But oh well.
Scroll down a little bit in their copy towards the bottom. I think it breaks things. I thought it said.
Yeah, 900 on this one.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was 1500 too. I think Funko said it out saying 1500, but
yeah,
maybe E only got 900 on. I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
But it's limited and it's sold out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And if you scroll down in the comment section there on the post, there was some guy was ticked that he missed the pre-order.
Oh dear.
I sit in front of my computer for 12 hours a day, and then when I see this, it was sold out. It's like, well, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. But
these things do go insanely
it's
quickly.
weird.
As distributors, we get them literally, and we get notice of them. An email will come out to us, and when it comes back, literally on a Friday, I think it is, literally sold out. So they're gone. So. I'm surprised this one sold out. Even though the limited runs and numbers, some of the Greedos took their time, their sweet time to sell out, which I thought was a far stronger figure. But
and that particular clone is not the most prevalent clone, and I don't even know if it was in the movies, to be honest.
I don't think it was concept art or something. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, but
still.
So expect more, as we discussed. I mean, we saw them at Toy Fair. There is literally 10 versions of that to come, and you won't be crying for many.
What else? Going on to a little bit of custom stuff here. There was another great custom version of Chopper that was posted over in the forums. I think this was done by Evilo something. I can't remember exactly. Yep. Evil Ivo.
Evil Ivo. Yep. Very cool. I love the wheel on this. It's fantastic. That's really cool. Lots of weathering. You can just hear Chopper's little voice.
Yeah.
So I like that. Really nice.
I do like the wheel. I
like it now too as well. I must admit at the beginning I thought, what are they doing? But I absolutely love it. It's just he's clunky and he's just I like it.
He probably pushed a shopping cart in front of a bus and then stole the wheel off of it.
He's just one of the best characters in Rebels that they had a day.
So,
very cool little guy.
That was pretty
nice
cool
job.
one. This one was making quite the heavy rounds as far as on different news sites. I can't remember where else. Google and CNET and BuzzFeed and all this stuff. This is a custom drone. We had talked about a couple of these in previous shows. There was the Falcon that we talked about, as well as the TIE Interceptor last week. This one is a custom drone speeder bike.
Yep.
And I think this is probably the coolest one yet, actually.
Playing this video. Wow, look at that thing. Let's see if we can full screen this without causing some YouTube issues. That's phenomenal. That really is. I'm just going to make this smaller and bigger because that's sometimes YouTube gives us issues if we play the same video that's already up on YouTube. It kind of causes our show to be blocked, but that really is something special.
Yeah.
So
it's just it flies like.
How did they pack that thing in?
And it's got a little camera on it where you could get a scout trooper point of view. It's just pretty cool.
What's going to be next in the Star Wars world to get a drone put on it? I mean, we've had the Falcon, we've had a TIE Intercept.
Need like a
all we need is
speeder,
one to
snow speeder.
The hut around. Snow speeder.
There you go.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, we'll have a link to that YouTube video in the show notes so people could check that out. And what's interesting about that was built off of one of Hasbro's 12-inch speeder bikes from back in the Power of the Power of the Force 2 days.
Yep. The green.
They had, the Scout Trooper version. They had a Luke and Leia different versions. I have those all in the garage somewhere.
Of course you do.
I almost drug one out for the show, but it's gone a little far. But yeah, those are sizable. I mean,
they're huge.
The bike or the speeder bike itself is probably 18 inches long.
I used to have one as well. They were beautiful pieces. They really
They're
were.
great.
Really. But they don't make toys like that anymore unless it's
No.
Hot Toys. And the price of them way back then was, I think, $40 or something.
Yeah.
It was
I remember buying up a bunch of them on clearance.
good times.
Let's see, and then oh, this one here, custom Star Wars Rebels family car window decals. This was kind of an interesting thing. I was kind of teasing Think Geek earlier this week um, because they do sell those family car decal things. We've talked about this, I think, right around our Christmas show.
That's right, it was one of
Well
your
back.
gifts, wasn't it? Yeah.
So I had those here. I'm like, they should make Star Wars Rebels versions of those. And I was sitting around. I'm like, And I was at my work. This was on Friday, just yesterday. I'm like, I should probably really be working, but I'm going to start this whole concept of a Rebels family set of stickers. I'm going to share my screen here quick because I took just some quick snapshots of my computer screen at work to share. But let's see, let me share this quick. Start screen share. So here are my figures of Kanan, Chopper, and Sabine.
I love how you say this was something you did real quick. Now, everybody who's watching, please leave a comment underneath. You know fine well he spent hours on
No, to be honest, it took absolutely. It didn't
Well,
take.
it would have taken us, the rest of us plebs, hours to do that. So, good job. Very good job.
Yeah, these are fun. I'm gonna take. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this
Make a
because
t-shirt or something?
I might make T-shirts of both the entire family and individual characters, or of each. So if people like Chopper, they could just get a Chopper shirt, or Sabine or Kanan. I'm gonna do the rest of the crew too. I'm gonna do Hera and Zeb. I'll do Ezra. I'll do Inquisitor. So it's
Very good.
just kind of a fun. I don't know.
Where do you get the time?
Like I said, I did it at work one day when I probably should have been doing some other things. But
Very good. I hope your
anyway.
boss doesn't watch this show. Never mind.
Yeah. Let's see what else. You had shared finally this week in the custom section. Ryan Spencer, who does the mini wars. I love these.
I know, I love these too. Ryan Spencer, Blue Ghost, we've talked about before. Big fan of both of us have had some work done by him and for us, and Boba Fett and Yakface for you, and Sith Lord 229 had some stuff done. We love what he does, but he's getting further and further into these prototypes, and he did have some snags and issues. It's been a little difficult to get these things this far, but credit to him, Ryan. He's persevering with these things, and look at them. They've got little stands on them. Oh, jeez, he really needs a job at Hasbro. I mean, look at the packaging on this thing. It's even got a bubble on it.
I will buy every single one of these that he puts out. I don't care.
Look at these little guns and the little jip. Oh, Ryan, you're just such a talent, sir. You really should. I hope to get these things more commercially made with you, but. So he's preparing it. He's going to get details, and these are just the prototypes, which, you could sell the prototypes on their own, because, of course, that is almost a Boba Fett character these days.
Yep.
So, yeah, painted and non-painted and holiday special, and here we come. So, yeah, I've got to get some of these. So, yes, please do support Ryan Spencer and Blue Ghost, and just have a Google for Blue Ghost. We'll put a link to this in the show notes. He's got some great T-shirts and great artwork, as both Jason and I can testify. So, well worth a mention.
Very nice. Moving on to TV, movie, book, and game news. Not name news. Topps had released this week an app for iOS devices. So, sorry for you Windows or Android people, but there's a Topps trading card game, and it's kind of addicting actually. I did download it, and they give you some starter cards, and then they give you a bunch of credits to buy additional packs, which give you more cards, and there are chase type of cards. It's really pretty fun, to be honest, to get all of it. There are Force Awakens cards, which we have all seen before. But no, it's kind of a neat little concept. People are obviously used to collecting traditional trading cards, but with this whole mechanic, you could trade and swap with people online. It's kind of fun.
It is. Again, I know. It's like it's like launching something and not having it work in certain browsers. It's just
Yeah.
why the hell don't you launch? It's a card game. It doesn't require some iOS only function. So, I think very short-sighted of them. But that's just my opinion. I'll shut up. So it certainly looks good, and it's kind of fun. And I'm sure at one point they'll get their finger and get this thing ported across. But
Yeah, they did say that it was officially, exclusively debuting on the iOS, Apple platform. So to me, that says it's coming in the other.
yeah,
But it's
looks good.
fun.
Looks fun. Look, nice
There are
little vintage cards in there too.
tons of cards, and it's not just the front card. If you click on the card front, it flips over and it gives you a bio on the back, and it's really neat.
Take it there's a few in-app purchases to buy digital cards, and that'll be the
Yeah,
mechanism.
you could do that. You get every day you get like 25,000 credits. They just it's free, and you use that to buy other packs. It doesn't technically it doesn't cost anything to just do that way, but I
Okay.
think you can buy regular in-app purchases. Um,
What a wonderful market research tool for them to know which characters people are buying and want. That's fantastic. It's really good. They then know, right, we're going to make lots of this card and we're making none of this card.
yeah.
So that's cool. Very smart.
As far as I know, there is no Ahsoka in this set yet.
Okay.
But there might be there like every day they release expansions and there's a new version of this card. It's like it's got a gold border or it's got a red border or something. It's very you know it's those it really gets to the people that are like OCD. I would have to think. So, it's like, I don't have the blue version of this card that I have red, green, and yellow of. So it's kind of fun like that. But
I'd love if they did that for some of the old cards that probably you and I had as kids, the blue and the orange and the red and the green and the. That
yeah.
would be nice. That would be nice. But yeah, looks good.
Some of the bigger news this week. Entertainment Weekly, EW.com, had posted an exclusive article announcing that there are going to be 20 new books coming up in lead up to The Force Awakens. And
That's a
these
lot.
books, yeah, these books range from kid books to kind of sticker books, novels. There are currently 20 plus books coming out. And it's said that a lot of these books are going to have Easter egg type things that are going to allude or reference something that we will see in future films,
Nice.
which is cool. I mean, it's Disney. They're totally milking this whole marketing scheme, and
Yes,
they're
they
not
are.
dumb.
Well, they
They've
get four
got
billion to recoup, so yeah, they
yeah,
got money.
they're gonna do it next summer because they have a ton of movies coming out. There was another book that was just announced too. It's called Star Wars Aftermath. This is a direct, essential follow-up to Return of the Jedi. So you could throw away your books that, no, not throw away. They're good from a nostalgia standpoint. But again, this will again rewrite whatever happened in past novels, and it's pretty cool. It was just revealed that I can't remember, was it Chuck Wendig is the author of this book.
It is indeed, yes. Yep, Wendig. Yep. So,
There's
320
a
pages on sale September 4th, 2015. So,
yeah.
yeah. So.
There's a description there of what the book is about.
Mm-hmm.
It says
Sec-
go ahead.
Yep. No, I was just going to say the second Death Star is destroyed. The Emperor and his powerful enforcer Darth Vader are rumored to be dead. The Empire is in chaos, and so other Imperial factions across the galaxy tighten their grip. Optimism and fear reign side by side. A lone rebel scout uncovers a secret Imperial meeting. So,
Pretty cool.
yeah,
I mean,
pretty cool. I thought that maybe we'd do comics of that instead, but well, we're getting a book.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's a comic too that's coming out. That's at our next little bit here on Friday. Yesterday, StarWars.com revealed a sneak peek at the cover of the direct follow-up comic to Return of the Jedi. It's called Shattered Empire,
a very cool cover this has once it just loads here. It's some nice artwork, I thought. So again, straight from Return of the Jedi, literally
The
the
celebration.
fire hug scene, and we're off. So yeah, as bits of the Death Star rain down and kill everybody and get off the book.
I do,
So
I do like how these new books and whatnot have this journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens at the top. This is, like how the Legends books are now, where it
yep,
has the gold bar and it says this is no longer relevant. Essentially, this is now, this is saying that this this is now canon.
this works. Yeah,
This is going to influence everything that you're going to see in the future.
yeah,
And again, there's going to be um, little Easter egg type hinty things that may turn up later. Pretty cool.
indeed. So yeah,
Let's
we're not going to be
see.
short of things to cover and talk kind of
Oh
products,
god,
and that's,
there's a lot.
it's
There's
going to
going to
be
be a lot.
busy.
Um, Earlier this week, Star Wars number 3. Is that what came out this week?
That's what it was. I know I'm losing track as well. I'm
I
kind of
know.
all
Um,
in hand, and
where
so.
did I put that?
What did you think? Have you read it?
Yes, I thought it was really pretty good actually. Lots of Darth Vader chopping up ATS or AT-AT
Yep.
walkers, and kind of a
Yep.
cool little. The last couple panels were really pretty interesting as far as
Did we?
I don't want to
The
spoil anything for
spoiler
people that
alert, I guess.
haven't read it, but where did the heck did I put those? I don't know. This room is getting out of
It's a
control.
nice little touch, nicely done. Yeah, we better
Yep.
not talk about it because it is quite a nice little secret to be had at the end of the comic book. But
Right. And I did get my
Vader kind of go for it.
sorry, I did get my versions of the Leia and Obi-Wan. This is for Star Wars number 3. This is that new variant that came out. So
Yep, I got my Leia. I'm just waiting for my.
from Midtown Comics.
Yeah. I only get the Leia one on Friday, but I'll get another one sure. But yeah, Vader just seems to basically just be defeated quite a lot. You know, he lets the Death Star get blown up. He lets Luke and the guys get away, and yet again they kind of. I hope there's a little bit more of Vader kind of kicking ass and taking names because he's kind of.
Right.
So far, he's not really doing a great deal. He's just getting angry with a lot of people. So
Yeah, he's showing some kind of cool force powers and stuff in it as far
sure,
as I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe without looking at the actual panel, but it's interesting and entertaining, I think.
definitely. And if you want to pick up your digital copy, head across to Yakface.com and you get a little banner there, and that'll maybe buy Jason a comic one day. So
Yes,
yeah, do
please.
that.
Yes, please. Let's see what else. Celebration news had broke this week. In general, there was some announcements that there's some special guests joining J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy on the Thursday morning kickoff of the show, which is, it's. I would have to guess it's got to be Force Awakens related as far as cast.
Could be Lucas, could be Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill. I thought maybe that would be nice to
Could
reunite the
be.
stars together.
But
But
other stuff they
everyone's
announced
pretty much
was,
got to be there. So
yeah, Billy D. Williams is going to be
yep.
attending, doing autographs. There's a cosplay contest. More guests were added to the autograph hall if you're into the autograph thing. Just a lot of stuff. Also, earlier this week, we didn't put it in the show notes, or maybe we did talk about it last week. The Diorama Workshop.
We did. Frank's work. Yeah, we did.
Yep,
We did.
with the Bespin being the theme of the
Mm.
build. It's going to be fun.
There's a lot of celebrations, little small bits and pieces it may be, but wow, 4 weeks away, dude. This is gonna be
Yep.
wow. It's
I
a
got
lot of
everything
stuff.
reserved, so I'm ready.
And some other slightly non-exciting, underwhelming news about some, maybe they'll make some movies or something was announced.
Yep. The standalone. This was announced at a Disney investors meeting on. Was it? It was just. Was it yesterday or was it Thursday? Doesn't matter.
March 12th.
Yeah.
Good easy.
They announced the standalone for the film. or for the franchise. Rogue One is the title.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Starring Felicity Jones, who was just in.
Theory
This
of
officially
everything.
confirms that she was um, in talks to join the movie. Very cool.
It is, and yeah, there's a few. I mean, some of the credits and the casts. I mean, they're hiring some great actors and new, fresh talent, which I think is really nice. Which is, I guess, the way it was with Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah.
But Episode 8 was tacked on there as well, just to confirm it that Ryan Johnson was the director. And we were talking about this last night on the Wolfpack, a great show with the guys from Podcast 66 and Making Star Wars. And we're all speculating what it might be and all the rest of Rogue One, what it could be, and Episode 8 and so forth. But we all had definitely agreed the director, Ryan Johnson, is a great director. And if you haven't seen some of his work on Breaking Bad or Looper, check it out.
Right. Yeah, and they confirmed that Rogue One, which is the standalone movie, is coming out December 16th of 2016. So less than a year from the debut of The Force Awakens. And then they also announced that Episode 8 will be released May 26th of 2017. So we're back to May.
Back to the movie.
Pretty interesting. And that is also a couple days after the 40th anniversary of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
40 years. Oh, never mind. That's crazy. I can't actually believe that. Never mind.
You know, it's almost as hard to believe that they're actually making new Star Wars movies, that Star Wars is going to be 40 years old, and
I know.
we will be much older than that at that time.
Oy, oy, oy.
Let's see. Also, this week, just a quick bit here. StarWars.com had restarted their This Is Madness bracket tournament, which they pit characters from the whole Star Wars universe against one another to see who wins. You know, the past couple years, Yoda had won overall. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi won last year. This is kind of like those fun. It's the nerd version of the NCAA March Madness bracket deal.
Yeah. I must admit, for years I just wondered, what is this thing? But yeah, it's a very American thing. But
yeah,
I guess with Rebels being included now as well, it's got a slight angle to it. So I'm expecting some of them to be very popular. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there's a little leaderboard going on. So yeah.
So yeah, goes on for a couple weeks, and we'll see who wins in the end. People have their favorites, and it's kind of fun. I mean, it's just, again, it's kind of like the mindless kind of fun thing that you try to predict who wins, and you try to, I don't know, sway the tournament. What else?
I guess.
Absolutely. Last night you were on with the guys from the Wolfpack. And podcast.
Yeah, they were great guys. Really getting a chance to speak to them as well, and getting to know Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. We've both talked many times on this show here about some of the rumors and the leaks, and we had a good fun poking fun at him about some of the rumors and who he was sleeping with and whatnot, and just to get all this information. But really nice guy, and both Ryan and Dan, they were great as well from Podcast 66. Really good episode, but we just chewed the movie releases and the comics particularly. So it's a great discussion. If you really want to get meaty and get into some of the stuff, check it out, the Wolfpack, and as usual, Corey did a great job at coordinating everything and pulling it together. So it's good fun.
Yeah, sounds. Yeah, I listened to it today. It was a good listen. Let's see.
Since
we had talked about this a couple weeks ago, maybe. Arnie and Marjorie from Star Wars Action News had started a Kickstarter thing for their Now Playing podcast series, and they have reached their goal and then some. They are now at 80,000 plus for their $81,000 that they've had pledged to this book that they're doing in order to. That has 100 plus movies that they haven't done podcasts over. I'm just floored by the amount of money that they've raised so far.
So what do they do now that they've gone over the? They make the book gold gilded,
Well,
or
they
what?
they offer different, bonus stuff. There's a digital book, there's a hardcover, a softcover book, different bonus podcasts that you couldn't get.
Oh, so they already pre-planned. I'm just like reading this right now. So if they
Yep,
reached further above the goal, then there's other things they're going to do. So
yep,
wow, so
it's very
very good.
cool. So if you are a fan of that show and you haven't donated anything, you can donate as little as $1. It's really pretty painless. Um, and they're friends of ours, so again, support
You
support
get a,
them and have fun doing it.
yeah.
What else? This
This
is
was fun.
this was the other day. StarWars.com had posted this article regarding um, all of the scenes in the Star Wars franchise where creatures or characters have lost a limb. I thought that was kind of
And surprisingly, there's quite a few, isn't it?
surprisingly, yeah,
Especially in the original trilogy, there was a lot. That's for sure.
lots of arms and legs coming off. Um, there was an interesting thing, though. Originally, when this article was published, um, I started reading it, and I've got a link here. I could share my screen here quick. Um, there was,
You screen
yeah,
the mistake.
what did I do? I screen shared you.
I'm saying, no, I'm saying, did you screen capture their mistake? I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they originally stated that Jango Fett loses his right hand, and I'm like, what? And I read the description a little bit, and it made me second. They were counting that, and they were also, obviously he gets his head cut off, but they weren't counting the head as a limb. So they were saying that he had lost his arm at the same time as he got his head cut off, or at least in relative, time. Um, and I was like, "There's no way that happened." And I was driving at the time that I saw this. I pulled over and I YouTubed it. I Googled Django head cut off, and so it takes me to that scene in Attack of the Clones. And I'm looking on my little phone and I'm like, did he actually get his hand cut off? And I totally missed it this whole time. So I get home and I step framed that whole scene, and no, he doesn't lose anything other than his head in there. He's got his blaster cut in half, and there was a couple Twitter exchanges with me and some other Twitter people out there, because we thought we were misremembering the whole thing, and lo and behold,
No.
later that afternoon, that entry was removed from the Star Wars website. So it was just one of those little personal achievement kind of things. Like, yeah, I caught him.
So did they put it back up with his head, or they've just completely omitted that?
No, they removed the head because they weren't counting. They didn't count. Dooku getting his head cut off, or
Okay.
they were just counting arms and hands and legs and stuff. They weren't counting.
I was wondering
heads.
maybe whether you'd stumbled upon what they know as maybe the special edition of the prequels to come out, maybe where there's nobody loses their head. So
Yeah,
I
some
like
future
those
edit
references.
where.
Yeah, you never know. So
Anyway, that was just kind of like a little fun little thing to include. Let me
interesting.
stop sharing. Let's see, what else? That kind of brings us to our reviews for this week. For myself, I did have a few updates. I did the toy guide update for the Luke Skywalker Saga Legends figure, which is the X-Wing pilot version.
Yep, it's I'm kind of mixed on this figure. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I mean it's nothing. Obviously, it's nothing new other than it is a new sculpt, but it doesn't offer anything as far as being
yeah, it's
brand new.
paint splodgy in parts, but
Yeah,
I
but
mean, it's cheap, it's low cost, simple. Probably not
yeah.
had an X-wing look for a long time, actually. So
If anything, what some of these figures do, I mean, from a photography standpoint and from a play quote unquote standpoint, it makes it essentially forces me to play with the toys, and
Yeah, suppose.
it caused me to hunt through a bunch of tubs to find the pieces for my X-wing to be able to set up a scene and find the ladder, find an R2, and then set up these different little diorama things to include in the toy guide update. So there's some fun to be had here,
I
but
was going to repeat again. Where do you get the time for this?
yeah,
It's
it's
insane.
me at
You have
2 o'clock in the
clones.
morning.
Crazy. But yeah, that's true. It's good fun. I don't remember the red.
That
I don't.
red ladder, that red ladder came with the Biggs. No, was it the Biggs Wedge
Oh,
X-wing?
oh, okay.
There was a for the 30th anniversary collection. There was an X-wing that was out. It included the a red ladder, the yellow ladder, Biggs, and the Astromech. So I couldn't find the yellow ladder. I'm still kind of bummed about that. But
See, also you looked at the ATDP and
ATDP driver,
covered
yes.
all the.
I had to wait until I had been passing on the ATDP vehicles that had been turning up until recently because I was waiting to get the ATDP driver, and since I finally acquired it, I decided to do the toy guide update for this one, and it's the figure itself is great. It's very reminiscent of the ATST driver from back in the vintage Kenner days.
Mhm.
That was in my write-up of it. That was one of my favorite figures as a kid. So it's very, you know, there's like a whole nostalgia homage thing going on there. But I don't know, I might have to refresh.
Image problem there, but so you actually can get two ATDP pilots inside.
You can't get them both to sit down. The one
Sure,
is
that's what I
standing.
thought.
That's they are staggered a little bit in their seating, but you could essentially get two in there,
They
and
look
then
great though. They do look
yeah,
good.
they're decent looking figures. I think the color of them is a little bit off compared to what they are in
Mhm.
the show. I mean, they look a little too blue to me
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
in action figure form. Otherwise, they're pretty much white and gray in the series, and then there's like a darker gray version. But
Mhm.
this isn't either one of those. So
Love those TIE pilots and the Stormies. Fantastic. They look good.
a few of those.
Very nice. Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
And of course, you did your digital collection
Yep.
set toy guide as well.
Yep. That was pretty much it for me this week. Again, this set is like we talked about earlier. It's nothing new. You could completely pass on it if you want. So, how about you? Any reviews for you?
Cool. Got a pile here of a pile of review shame still to do, but no reviews this week for me.
Cool. Let's see. New toy guides or not toy guides, but toy acquisitions and purchases. Why don't you go ahead and start with whatever you've picked up?
Sure. Literally only one thing this week. I can think of a couple of Marvel bits and pieces, some older figures, nothing really to share about. The brand new, if you haven't seen it, the Marvel Infinite Avengers wave came out a couple of weeks ago. They're actually pretty good. One of the things I was really quite chuffed about was a little bit hard to see there was the variants for Sandman and Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just nice to see. I mean, they're actually really well packed. A lot of people have just been so clamoring to get the different versions and variations, and there's some retooling and some older figures, but this one I picked up here, just this one was Daredevil, and it's a re-release of an older figure, but it's a great figure. Just takes me back to the good old days of 3.75-inch Marvel Universe when they were just sometimes just knocking it out of the park. So he's a great figure. And Bishop's also a good one from that wave too, but Marvel's kind of really pulling me across at the moment. Well, there's just not a great deal of collectible Star Wars out all the time, so liking it.
I noticed that packaging too was had multilingual languaging on it.
That's right. It seems to be the norm. I think they're saving a couple of cents on everything they do with the multilingual information down at the bottom. So everywhere you go, and again, the same as Star Wars is, it's a generic front on the majority of the figures. So
Right.
yeah, they're saving some money. I guess that's the only way they're doing that. But yeah, and this weird kind of symbol, I don't know where this is from, that's appearing on literally every toy that I've seen these days. The little Spanish.
Yeah,
What that is?
that's shown up a lot on.
Never seen that before.
It's on the bottom of those
Yeah,
sets for the digital collection. It's on the vehicles that are shipping now. Um, like here's the
yeah, I've seen it everywhere. I've just suddenly just kind of noticed this little logo there everywhere. So
yeah, I think the troop transport
yeah,
has it on there. The
maybe that means more products to Spanish markets, I
yeah,
guess, or Spanish-speaking markets. But don't know what happened with the UK. I'd love to see if anyone's watching from the UK what variations they see with the language versions. A lot of people are really into these. I've had a lot of emails and questions, people asking about these multilingual packs. Is it the norm? And so if you're from the UK side of things, are they sticking things up still on some of the new products? If you're seeing them, that'd be interesting to know.
right. Let's
Would you
see.
buy?
As far as we pretty much covered it and everything we've talked about before. I received a case of Wave 2 Saga Legends, a case of Wave 3, Mission Series Wave 2 case, picked up the digital release sets, and again, the Leia and Obi-Wan action figure comic variant covers.
Yep.
I think that was it. It seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
It seems like a lot when you open everything and you're like, oh my god, there's, you know,
There's a figure I've already got. Yeah, I
there's,
know.
12 figures there, 12, there's 50 figures in these cases of stuff, It's kind of wild.
That's the way it
But
goes.
anyway, I think with that wraps up this week's show. Again, we like to thank everyone for watching and sharing and um, passing on our information. We will be back next week with whatever news comes out. I'm sure that it'll be great, whatever we talk about, as always.
As always.
All right, we'll see you all next week.
See you later.